What is going on, all you tanks, healers, and dealers, and welcome to the EMEA Overwatch Contenders Summer Series A side, round of 32, presented by Monkey Bolt Reflash. I am Septilence, joined by Rebel. We are bringing you what we statistically believe should be a very...
Yeah, I mean, both teams are, I believe Brolov is 14th seed and Region EU is going to be 19th seed, so it's going to be a pretty close match. And considering it's a best of 5, if we go to a map 5 here, it's going to be awesome.
Oh, it'll be perfect. I mean, it'll just be so exciting. Now, Region EU that I know a little bit better than Brolov. I think Brolov is a new team to this whole setup. And Region EU, while they have been before, I don't think I've seen a lot of the players on the team. So it's like, I know the legacy of the team. I know the team itself rather than the people actually on the team. So I'm really excited to kind of see what they're bringing to the table here today and how aggressively they can.
I 100% agree. I mean, Overwatch 2 is out now. Both teams, I mean, pretty close again, but since it's a new game, a lot of new metas have been coming out, and especially with the patch that came out recently, I'm expecting we're probably going to see a lot more Moira, especially with what her new orb does. It's kind of ridiculous. It just weakens the enemy by 75%. So that's going to be huge, but like, some meta that when I was watching Contenders yesterday is like, we might be expecting some Junker Queen in there. She's been really good, new hero. Not too many counters that people have really sort of figured out yet, but she's really good at enabling her team as well. Yeah. Sojourn and Genji for your DPS, that's not too surprising. Genji's been good in the Overwatch 2 beta for pretty much the entire time. Sojourn more recently got buffed, but she's been doing pretty good, especially if you look at the pro stage as well on Owl. And then you can expect your backline with a combination of like Lucio, Moira, Breaker, Zen.
Yeah, I could not agree more. I think we're going to be seeing Sojourn. She feels very likely, just really aggressive, very strong, kind of similar to the Junker Queen, where she's new enough that people aren't immediately countering her out the gate. She gets a lot of value as well. I mean, that railgun is insane. The focus shot really goes the extra mile when it needs to and can find a lot of great value with a combination like a Baptiste amplification matrix as well. I forgot the word combination for a second there. I do have exciting news. We are going to Nepal as our first map, so I'm very excited to see that. We talked about it should be a control map. We didn't know if the rules for that or against that, but either way, I'm very excited to go into Nepal because this is... The reason I love control maps is because they almost always call for 3 different team compositions. Right now, that goes back to Overwatch 1. I'm curious to see if we're going to see that in Overwatch 2 because, Rebel, I've made this clear to you and to our production staff, and for everybody watching, this is my first Overwatch 2 broadcast. I'm not going to pretend it's not. I'm not going to pretend that I'm an expert on this. It's my first Overwatch 2 broadcast, so we are learning together today. It is all about learning together, learning the new game, the metas, the play styles. But Rebel, I am very excited to jump into at least a familiar map as we jump into an unfamiliar game.
I 100% agree. And Nepal is just a great map in general, especially for... I mean, if you go to Sanctum, first of all, Lucio with the boobs, obviously, classic from Overwatch 1. But there's just a lot that you can do in a little bit more enclosed space, especially if you're going to be in Village, with Junker Queen being very prominent there, Knife just having closer. The Axe can just... boom, deal some good damage in there. Sojourn's also great because of her orb, and then Genji's just Genji. That's just not surprising, but there's a lot of very good close counter comps. I wouldn't be surprised if we also see a team maybe try and maybe consider the Reinhardt. I would like so. Reinhardt's been my main for a very long time, and being able to see him in the map. But it would make sense if you want to play Reinhardt on this map. That's just been something that's classic that we've seen for a while as well.
I think Nepal represents a really unique choice because Reinhardt definitely did get a lot of value back in Overwatch 1 when he had an off tank to kind of thrive with. No matter who that was, a Diva or a Zarya, it was really easy to take that space, then to have his other tank capitalize on it. But instead, it is just that one tank. Now, the one I was thinking of, one that you did not name, Doomfist. I think it have a very real chance of coming out here being very strong and just making space, because that's what, I mean, control points are all about, right? Getting out of that space and it for as long as humanly possible. Doomfist, very good at stalling out that time.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I mean, having Doomfist switch to a tank is awesome. It's awesome. I love it. And I mean, some people might complain here and there. I've seen some complaints, but I think having Doomfist switch to a tank is awesome. It gives another dive option other than to just Winston and Wrecking Ball, and I guess Diva as well. I mean, Diva's also a classic dive, but with the way 5v5 works now in Overwatch 2, it's just having a little bit more brawl and damage capability from a tank, just having a bigger health pool, doing a lot more damage, being able to stay alive better, and just really be an actual anchor is going to be huge.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Whatever that tank is going to be, whatever those DPS are going to be, and of course we've got the support line up and running, but it looks like we might finally be getting away from that hypothesis. We're going to be jumping. We're waiting for players to kind of get everything settled out, everything situated when they can to their earliest convenience. And of course, then would it be live production without tech errors? Of course not. So we want to make sure everybody's computers are up and running, everybody's comfortable getting into the game. And as we enter Nepal, I mean, I really, on the fence here of what we're going to see back in Overwatch 1, a game that I was much familiar with, I could just say, this is who we're seeing, you know, XYZ. But now there's so much possibility. There's so many combinations these teams can bring out in a 5v5.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, we're going to be headed to Sanctum first, so we're about to see what the comps are looking like. And yeah, Lucio break for the backlines. I'm not too surprised on that. Just works out really well. Junker Queen, and as well as the Sojourn and the Genji. So, new faces. I'm here to see it. And it's going to be awesome.
This is going to be very interesting. Ace bringing out kind of an older playstyle with the Symmetra, and I would not be even 1% surprised to see that just be a swap or out of spawn, and then a swap off, a combination that we are very familiar with, something we've seen from these teams time and time again. But coming in quick now, it's going to be that lineup as the doors come to open. Amaterasu also going to be swapping off, and yeah, the immediate...
Yeah,
these teams are coming out quick.
I agree. And I mean, yeah, they're going to be coming out right off the way. I mean, bro, I mean, Region didn't go for... They didn't go for the CTP, but that's already the first kill.
Oh, already the first kill. I mean, Sojourn finding it is the least surprising thing I've ever heard already. Able to put down a second one. SAR takes out... So we are blink and you miss it moment. One DPS down on both sides, but it's SAR is rolling through Region.
Yeah,
worth their weight in gold immediately out the gate.
Exactly, and I mean, that's already going to be huge for Broma. It looked like it was going to go towards the favorite region at the beginning, but I mean, just after that, SAR just kind of went nasty with it on the Junker Queen there. But yeah, that's going to give Brolov a little bit of space to push up more, but Region's just going to go right back into this fight. They had enough time to regroup and just get out there right off the bat. I mean, with the double speed boost, yeah, that's a thing that will happen. But now Brolov is just able to just sort of hold on to this position and just not, they don't have to go in. They really just need to stay around and poke, but hey, Region's just going to go around. They're going to try and go around, see if they can get that other rotation point.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely going to be tough. Region has to get up close and personal, and they don't have a shield to be able to do that, so they need to be able to make sure they hide kind of for as long as possible and then get in and collapse that damage when they need to. It's an immediate 1-1 trade as Carrot is taking down early that Brig. That's a lot of healing when you're looking at a Brig loot. Half very damaging. Karama takes out Ace. All of a sudden, things are looking good for Region if they can stay on their feet. It's a very sloppy, very back and forth fight. This Lucio comes in quick. Helmer Drake looking for an opportunity to strike one more Elim in favor of Region. Should seal the deal. And just like that, SAR, the tank, the only tank now, is going to go down. Comes through as well. And all of a sudden, Region EU should be able to find this first point cap.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah. Region's, they're so close. But there's still, I mean, there's the Lucio. He's just kind of chilling there. He's waiting to die, but there it is now. Now they finally get the cap. But hey, Brolov getting that up to 60% is going to be huge for them. They have some ults to work with for the next fight. They're going to have the Genji Blade. That's going to be huge. Dragon Blade is going to be a very good play into that too. But Region also have the overclock as well as a sound barrier closer. And I mean, it's going to be online right now. So if they might be able to defend against the play here. It all depends on the
Oh, Ace is deleted. Immediately taken off there. That is a huge opportunity to come through, find that Genji SAR, taken down as well. And a fight that should have started so strongly for Brolov is going to be taken away from them in the blink of an eye. The fire of a single trigger was just enough for them to have the rug ripped out from underneath. All of a sudden, I mean, this could have been taken right back in a single fight, but that shot from Amaterasu was just exactly what they needed to succeed.
Oh, that was really good. That was a good fight for them. I mean, yeah, that sound barrier really saved them. Along with that, you just mentioned it, the overclock. I love this ultimate. I think it's a great ultimate to really like utilize how Sojourn's kit work, because you can just have that railgun ready, and if you're a hit scan god, you can just get those headshots after headshots and just, or you know, deny a ulting Genji going right at your face. So
I mean, yeah, if you want the definition of deny, we can go back and watch that clip again in a minute. You can really see what a true denial looks like. And immediately we're gonna see SAR coming in quick here. It's gonna be that strike up and against kind of one Junker Queen versus the other. And I think both teams have identified that removing the tank obviously makes it a lot easier for your team, right? So that is priority numero uno, taking that tank down with Karama and Karad both gonna be taken down. Brolov coming in quick. They want to strike up. They've recapped the point in the midst of a complete and total combat. It's gonna be coming through, stealing that out from under the noses of Regen and capitalizing off the back of it. We are already up to 80%, and they need to win, I don't know, not even a fight, half a fight to find some true successes here.
Exactly, and I mean they also have the Junker Queen ult. That's going to be really huge if they can get this rampage off and at least get, I don't know, at least 2 people with the anti-nade here, or the anti, yeah, like that.
Oh!
Or just get almost their entire team with
How about 4?
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah,
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's got to be a deal breaker. That's got to be a deal maker, a day maker. If you Brolove finds that first point capitalization, they find the success. They've done it once. Rebel, they've got to do it one more time. Of course, Control, as always, is a pseudo best of 3. They're going to have to come through, find one more. And I think it depends on which stage it is and if this team comp can come out and work again.
I think it definitely could. I mean, we're headed to it. Yeah, it's going to be huge. But, I mean, they're going to stick... I don't really see too many changes yet, so
I doubt we'll see any.
They're just gonna stick. I mean, yeah, the sim TP from both sides. That makes sense. That makes sense. That's been a thing forever. It's always gonna be like that, where you want to on Control, especially where you want to get the TP off the gate and just go right for it. But other than that, I expect both teams to go back to the Genji and the Sojourn right afterwards and just stick with the same comp. The Junker Queen, I do really like on this map as well. And once again, you're playing in Control. You're going to be playing in a close quarter fights on the point. You really need the utility and the damage that comes out with having something that can brawl up close.
Yeah, and these fights have to be close quarters, right? You've got 2 AoE healers to an extent. You need to make sure your team is as close as they can possibly be to ensure they're getting as much healing as possible. And even without those armor packs available, Lucio, your only healer, I mean, that's terrifying, right? You want to be hugging him 95% of the time, and it looks like 4th Culture is going to be the first one to find out quickly that they were not hugging close enough about the... Apotheosis, wow, holy cow, is also going to be taken down early, and all of a sudden, Brolove, they're fighting a 5v3, and I mean, they just have to fall here, right? There's no way they win this without either support online.
No, the region doesn't win this fight here. I mean, it's just the Sojourn alive, and it's, you know, I mean, and the Junker Queen too, but that's not going to do good against a good Genji, or, you know, 5 people who are charging at your face, so... But yeah, I mean, Region, they were able to cap it for about 21%, but the fight really wasn't over until now. So now Brolove has a chance to set up. Granted, though, I think Region will have a little bit of an ult advantage going to this. Kurama is going to have the Dragon Blade on just a little bit earlier. No ults just quite yet, though, but if he can keep getting a little bit more poke off, he's going to do quite good and getting that blade up. And especially if he can get it now before the Lucio has a sound barrier, that's going to be huge.
Yeah, and I mean, let's be honest. Hopefully, Kurama's blade is a little bit more successful than we saw back on Sanctum a minute ago. I mean, it was really, I want to keep highlighting that moment because it was a breathtaking one, immediately taken down and off the gate. But if we jump into this fight here, it's going to be a slower one. Brolove, they're kissing 30%. They're able to take it up online as quickly as possible. And oh, the 1v1 win coming through from the Sojourn is absolutely going to make the difference.
Exactly.
Okay, here comes that blade once again.
It's going to get 1. It's going to get 2. Yeah, it gets 2, but both Genjis get 2 as well in the fight, so it's not quite over yet, though. The rally's going to come out, but he dies. He's not able to do anything about it.
For the Culture, I mean, had the rally, I think it was a reasonable rally to really kind of cement the victory of that fight for Brolove, but instead gets taken down before it can really find any value, and all of a sudden things looking rough as rough can be on the side of Regen. Ace comes in quick, takes out Kurama. Amaterasu takes down 1, and oh, takes out another! It's a repeat of stage 1 all over again! Oh, that Genji played really just not having a good time so far. Helm Drake finds for the Culture for the 2nd time. That might have been right out of the spawn door, because I really feel like that Brig should not be here. She should not be back yet.
No, not at all. But, I mean, that's just going to allow Regen to be able to hold on for it. But Brolove is holding this by their last length, but now...
Hey, 85, though. I mean, that's last fight territory.
That's pretty good. However, Regen is going to have 3 ults, all of which can be used on the defensive as well. Or the offensive, depending on how you want to use it. But, I mean, Dempsey is going to have the Rampage online. So this is where they can win a fight here, unless, of course, Hypothesis can stay alive just long enough to get that sound barrier available.
Oh, Junker's going to hold. That Rampage coming in quick. It's going to be able to anti quite a few. The beat has a bit of a cancel effect, but not completely. Oh, what a shot from Cannonball there. Takes Kurama down off the side. Dempsey finds another and arguably a more important elimination. Is that Lucio's gone. That's the healing off the table. That's the speed off the table. And it looks like Regen, they are fully aware of that opportunity to strike. Amaterasu finds Cannonball once again, and things looking good for Regen. They're 60%. If they can win this fight, I mean, things would really look good for a last fight territory, but then we're in that situation where both teams are looking for just one more fight.
Exactly, and I mean, Brolove's now, yeah, they're able to cap it.
Wow.
But that was a really close fight, but I think Brolove is coming out with the advantage in this. I mean, they're at 91%. They're going to have a Genji Blade available to them soon. The rally's almost online.
Yeah, the rally's online. Can they push in with it? Okay, Dempsey's going in kind of alone a little bit here, trying to make that space early, looking for kind of that opener the team needs to succeed. Okay, forces a couple off, and actually, Regen, they're going to take the bait here. Cannonball does find that Junker Queen, who got a little bit too aggressive. They walk away with that victory. Ace finds Karamo. That's going to be 2 in a row that have taken out their counterpart, and as that Lucio gets pushed off the point, that's going to be a 2-0 victory for Brolove.
Yeah, that was... I wouldn't say it was dominant, but it was definitely looking...
It was convincing.
Favorable. It was convincing, at least, and I mean, both teams were showing some good stuff here, but Brolove obviously just took the first map, and I
think I know what this is.
Oh no! It's not the point. It's not, but it's still pretty good though. I mean, this is where both.
Wait, it's the second one. It's the new version.
But yeah, no, having the Sojourn being able to just deny the Genji like that is just ridiculous, and I mean, Brolove coming out with the better of it in the beginning was huge. I think. Trying to see what the next map is, but we're not sure yet. No.
We are not super sure yet. But while we've got this little minute between maps here, chat, I'll be 100 with you. I think you can probably tell I'm suffering from a lot of tech issues right now, and we're trying to make it work. We really super are, but I apologize as we are kind of just fumbling. We're snowballing to figure out what is going on. I know there was a very bad storm in my area last night. My power went out at some point, so I'm wondering if that kind of damaged my internet or something. But I'm definitely struggling a little bit. But hey, we're gonna make it work, right? Let's not be live production without a little bit of scuffed broadcast one way or another, right? But hey, I'm here. We're having a good time. That is what teams coming out strong. Brolove, I liked what you said. It wasn't dominant, but by golly, am I convinced. They came out. They have made a statement.
Exactly. And I mean, they were the higher seed in the tournament anyways. Yeah. 14 and 19. So, I mean, yes, you can say something, oh yeah, higher seed, whatever. But yeah, no, the difference because there were 64 teams going into Contenders. 14 and 19 is a very small margin. It's really just those micro plays and maybe a map win or two. And clearly that's what we saw. And I'm assuming this is what we're going to see more of too. And I mean, I do like these comps that both teams were coming out with. And I mean, something I want to talk about with playing Lucio Brig. More recently, because of, Goat's not existing anymore, Lucio Brig was not ideal. But because of Junker Queen's ability to give her team a little bit more shield, because of Lucio's AoE heal, and because of Brig, you can have a lot more sustain without having a support dedicated to just healing like an Ana, like a Baptiste, or like a Mort.
When you break it down, you're looking at like a hypothetical of it's not goats, but hypothetically it works for the same reason. Your team should have too much HP to die. They should be too high up in those health bars to go down at any point in time. And it's interesting because when they remove goats from the game, you think they would never really lean back into that play style. But as the Junker Queen has come through, I mean, she really does have that HP buff and that speed boost, and she's got the anti-heal she can put on the enemies. There's a lot of great value in this character, and I'm not the least bit surprised to see her coming out so consistently from both teams there on map 1. We're getting ready to jump into map 2. We don't know what it is yet, but what we do know is Regen is going to be making a couple of swaps. Yeah, Regen, they've got Aspect in on the tank and Arex in on DPS.
I'm interested. I haven't seen him play yet, but I'm intrigued on what. Let me see if I believe Eric might be another flex DPS for Regen.
While you're looking that up, I can't think of the reason why.
Another tank. Aspect is hit scan, so I think we might be going to double hit scan here.
That's actually hysterical because I was going to say while you were looking that up, I was like, the name Aspect rings a bell for me, but for some reason I'm thinking of a DPS player. And now I know why, because that is Aspect, the DPS player. They are going to be coming in. I think you're totally right. Double hit scan coming up in this next map, and maybe not. Maybe they bring out a Junkrat or something, right? We talked about Junkrat. I mean, he's a little maniac. He's a little weirdo, and I'm very excited. He's been getting a lot of great value in Overwatch 2. I think more value than he found in Overwatch 1 a lot of the time. Yes. I'm very excited to see what people can do with Junkrat if we see him at all today.
If we see him at all. But, I mean, if we're going to go towards more double hit scan, that really brings up the question, what map are we going to? I could totally see a world where we're going to go to Escort, and we're going to head to Monaco, Monte Carlo, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I just know it from the Formula 1 track. So, but yeah, it really depends on what map they're going to. But if we can expect double hit scan, I can expect maybe a little bit more of a sniper maybe coming in here, whatever. whatever it is. It really depends on what this map is, but clearly we have it, and we're still waiting for the map pick. So not sure yet. We can only theorize, but there is no particular map order. So we could go to escort next. We could go to hybrid next. We could go to push next for all we know. But I know that most teams probably want to say push for a little bit later on in the game.
Yeah, I would think so as well. I think waiting for push is definitely going to be the kind of, I don't want to call it a smarter strategy, but I think it's a reasonable one. You don't want to bring out the newest map type too early. You don't want to give away what you have if you kind of need to. You want to stick to the maps that people know that you know how to play, if that makes any sense. Like, you don't want to be giving away your biggest secrets in the round of 32, right? You want to be holding on to those, holding on to these new play styles and team comps that we haven't always seen. I think that could be interesting for these teams one way or another. And I think you're right. I feel like hybrid coming in next or escort. Those are both two maps that normally fit well in kind of the Overwatch map build system. It's like, okay, control. Okay, hybrid or escort. So I really would fit quite nicely if they brought those out here.
100% agree. And Hollywood is going to be the pick. All right, I like this. I like this a lot. This is a good map for this comp that both teams have been playing here. The Sojourn and the Genji being able to take high ground is going to be huge. The Lucio Brig, once again, to sustain on the cart, and the Junker Queen can just do whatever the heck she wants to do. So, but yeah, Hollywood, I like this pick. Hollywood's been... It's been around. It's been around for a little bit. Maybe.
Hollywood's been around for a minute. That's a statement I can agree with, Rebel. Hollywood has been around for...
Exactly.
I'm excited though to see what is kind of going to be the team comp of choice. I feel like a lot of Hollywood, a lot of escort maps in particular, rely a lot on that tank line. You know, do we go for a pirate ship style and stay on the payload? Do we go for a dive comp and overextend? It really comes down to what can we do with one tank rather than two.
Right. And
I'll probably say that a lot today because that's obviously the biggest change in Overwatch, and it's just really unique.
Weird, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like so many maps. My first thought was always, what are the tanks going to be? And that really, to me, always dictated the rest of the team comp. Now it's like, what is the tank going to be? There's only one of them, and that choice, I think, still is just as, if not more important, to dictating the rest of the team comp.
And once again, you're right. And for me, though, I definitely think it's going to be Junker Queen, though. She's just been really good. I mean, she's kind of almost made Ana not as viable because we saw that early on in Overwatch 1 where the meta was hard stuck. Luciana, if you weren't playing Luciana, you were throwing. I don't know what you were doing. But now, well, not Overwatch 1, but for the first beta, the first stage of the Overwatch League, if you watched that. But yeah, it's gonna be probably the Lucio Brig again because you don't really need the Ana. You're not gonna need somebody to deal with that. You're probably gonna want the Junker Queen because of her ultimate to just anti the entire team if you do it right.
Oh, and it looks like we've got a sub from Brolove as well.
Oh, nice.
Tricky Turtle being brought in on the tank, so I'm very excited to see what that looks like. That actually, Rebel, makes me think we're not seeing a Junker Queen because to swap off the tank. Yeah, it's a tank swap. So I think it'd be really interesting to swap out your player and then have them play the same hero anyway. So that almost makes me think that we're not going to be Queen. I could be wrong. I'd love to be wrong, to be honest. I would love to see more of the Junker Queen. Yeah. But all things considered, I mean, all signs point to a different tank making an appearance here.
Maybe both the teams have people for control and for hybrid where might a little bit more dive or a little bit more brawl. But yeah, right off the bat, we are going to be seeing Brolove with Tricky Turtle show up with the Sigma. And the Babsen backline, I like this a lot. Babsen has been a staple. It's been a staple in Overwatch
since Bab
for a while.
Came out.
Exactly, and you're playing a little bit more poke on defense. I expect, nonetheless, you want the immortality field to just be as broken as it is, to be able to stay alive, and then along with the Zenyatta just to deal just a lot of damage.
Yeah, Bap, a very special place in my heart. When he first came out, I one-tricked him from gold to low masters, so he's always been... When he was the most broken character in the game, I abused that, absolutely. He's one of my personal favorites. And I'm just very excited to see some more gameplay. I really felt we were going to see a lot of just Lucio Moira, but instead we actually really are getting a lot of versatility from our support line so far. And actually, we are going to be looking at a Lucio Moira from Regen. I want to keep an eye on the supports, in particular kind of this Baptiste versus Moira situation. Which one is going to find more obvious successes? Who's going to be a little bit easier to play in a high caliber situation like this one?
Exactly. And I mean, both teams have completely different comps, which I like this a lot. We have the newer comp, we have the Overwatch 2 comp with the Lucio Moira, the Junker Queen, the Sojourner, the Genji. But with Bro Love, they're going to be playing more traditional with the Sigma, Babson, the Hanzo, and the Ashe. So it really depends on how these two playstyles are going to push up. Regen is going to be playing a little bit more faster comp with the Lucio and the Junker Queen, while Bro Love's just going to be playing a little bit more stable.
Brolove, they kind of have to play stable. They have to play slower here, and it's not necessarily a playstyle that I'm fond of, because I think it's constantly just kind of delaying the inevitable of backing yourself into a corner, but the elimination that they needed to kind of break back out has been found. Ace put one down. They didn't capitalize off the back, and Klein is immediately there to put Ace back in his place. It's going to be that advantage for Brolove coming through quickly, and Regen, they are trying to find some complete and total bloodbath. 1-to-1 Elan's down the line. Aspect has decided enough is... They are finally going to break through there. Just about 90 seconds off the clock, and they're looking to get this cart rolling.
Yeah, now I see why they subbed an Aspect. So far, they're looking pretty good. They're looking pretty good on the Sojourn person. But yeah, I mean, that's going to give Regen a huge advantage. Kurama already the closest to their ultimate with 84%. And I mean, they've been pretty good all match on Genji. I will agree.
I agree.
I will say that. I mean, they've been able to get their ult charge faster than most people. And I mean, just kills in general. Getting the necessary picks, and it's not to do to, you know, make it succeed.
We've got one of those situations I was kind of talking about during that last fight where the composition that Brolove is playing right now feels very delaying of the inevitable. They push themselves back, they all hide behind the shield, and as the cart continues to roll, the enemy will always be getting closer. They need to be finding these eliminations. Not a be-all, end-all. It does not keep you safe the entire time. It's just about coming through, finding Elans as quickly as possible, or maybe stalling out with a better shield. I'm not particularly fond of the Sigma shield by itself, but of course, he's being built in the way. Wow, okay, we are just having very unlucky Dragon Blade today.
Yeah, no, that's just unfortunate. That's going to be the bomb thrown out as well. But right now it's looking, I don't really even know to say who's winning the
wait!
Teams are committing so many ultimates!
Oh.
Yeah, I was hoping for a kill with that, but it's alright.
At least one.
Going nutty, though.
Aspect, Aspect said, do you want to kill? Let me double that. Looking for a third already. This Sigma stuck in the back line, forced back toward that spawn, but he's headed the wrong way. His team all going to be coming out the right. He's pushed down into the left. Can Baptiste save the day? Wow, by golly, it sure looks like he can. Aspect, 5 HP in a dream. The support's racing around the corner to try and get there in time, and it looks like they are able to do just that. Rebel, they've got 3.5 minutes still.
It's ridiculous. Regen's kind of going on a rampage. However, Kurama is going to fall. But something I wanted to mention, though, about Sojourn and Sigma, I think a lot of the reason why a lot more people have been choosing to play Junker Queen in the mirror comp is because if you're playing against a Sojourn, you're just going to get so much charge off the Sigma shield. Automatically having that headshot available. Just look at that. You have to take your shield down right away once you start hearing that, because otherwise the Sojourn's going to get like 80% headshot charge off that.
Yeah, like a point I want to try to get into, but I'll probably get interrupted here as the fight kind of breaks out, is it's interesting how for a long time people were conditioned to an extent that to play Overwatch successfully, you needed a shield on your team. You needed a tank with the shield, and now as the Junker Queen comes out, she's being a lot more popular. Doomfist, as he's been moved to that tank role, we're seeing tanks that don't necessarily have that shield, and I think it's really giving play a mental run for their money. It's a wow. We were trained for so long to have that shield available, and now as there isn't one, it's forcing teams to adapt in really unique ways.
Exactly. Also, I want to mention Ace with that nice little pulse bomb there. I thought it was going to get more because I saw how crowded they were together, but it's good nonetheless. It's going to get them a good pick. But, I mean, Regen's still kind of at a stall here. They need to get, like, that one opening kill for them to really do something here. And, I mean, that's what's going to happen here is Kurama's going to dive up to the high ground.
Oh, Aspect trying to go for a bit of yeah, I think overshot the slide a little bit, but it looks like it's not budge. Oh! The homing strike coming in from that Cassidy takes him down. A 1-1 trade. And hey, honestly, not the best case scenarios. It looks like your team actually losing a little bit here. Aspect finds the first E-limit. It's immediately answered by, I think, 3, maybe only 2, but the point here is that their team looking a little bit more rough. Regen EU, they lose Homer Drake as well, and they had, I mean, Rebel, it feels like 10 seconds ago, but I mean, it was obviously 2 minutes. They had 3.5 minutes, and they're already down to 90.
Exactly. I mean, an Aspect's gonna fall early as well. Look, I mean, granted, Regen's gonna have literally 3 ultimates coming on this next fight, but so is Brolove. They're gonna have the Pulse Bomb, they're gonna have the Sigma ult, they're gonna have the Flux, and they're also gonna have Window. So, it really depends on how well they want to defend on this here, because we saw on the first point, it wasn't really great for defending, yeah, whatever, but this is where I really see why they went with this comp over anything else that we've seen so far in Contenders. This has been different, it's been a little bit different, but he's gonna get stunned out of it, and that's the Dragon play.
I love the play. It almost felt like Kurama took that intentionally to go in and tank that for the team, pulled the plate immediately after, found their one, and walked away successful. Some great accuracy here from Cannonball. They take somebody down off the roof, and oh, that darn weaken, that darn enfeeblement, Ray. You love it, you hate it. It's a part of the game, and oh, Cannonball definitely on the hating it side. Darren finds that elim.
I just saw him staring into the Warrior's eyes when he was like, really, man? Come on. What's gonna kill you? Well, denied it anyways. No, but Regen, probably starting to get like another pick or two here, trying to do something a little bit more on the aggressive here, with a little bit of a backline battle going on. That's not gonna work.
Supportal combat not ending quite the way Helmer Drake thought it was going to. Aspect now on the Tracer, finds a 1.5 elim, takes down the Immortality Field, takes down the Zenyatta. Can they capitalize just one step further? But now, my goodness, a sliver of HP in a dream. Cannot touch the cart in time. And wow, a 5.5 minute time bank just shattered there, just shy of that second point.
Now I see why Bro Love is a little bit higher seed. We mentioned it earlier. Regen was looking really good at the beginning. I mean, they took that pretty dominantly, but it just happened at the end that they just could not get the picks capable enough for them to work. I don't think it was really a compositional thing. I think they were just getting outplayed. The Sigma, just the more defensive style. I don't even want to call it bunker, because it's not even a bunker comp anymore. The more defensive style that Bro Love was playing, especially being able to control the high ground so well and be able to drop when necessary. They had the snowball with the ultimates. They had the defensive positioning. They had the necessary picks to really just be able to hold on there. And clearly we saw this. They don't even get the cart pushed all the way from Regen.
It's fascinating as well, because I was so ready for Bro Love's composition to not work. I thought it was really unique. We saw kind of a weird defense off the back of it. I was like, oh, this is kind of a backpedal composition, but it got to a point where they had such a massive spawn advantage that they didn't have to backpedal any further. They could continuously burn down the timer, continuously win or lose these fights. They had enough time to get back and recontest, and they really capitalized well off the back of that. Now, Bro Love, I mean, they're in spawn. I'm not going to harp on this comp too much, but if they bring a Wrecking Ball Pharah out the gate, I mean, I'll be quite surprised to see that.
I 100% agree here, but like, I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting. I mean, I love dive comps, but no, they're just over the
got it.
Shiana though, so I'm interested in how they want to do that here.
I mean, I think we're looking at kind of a team and Ana, and then Pharah and Mercy. I doubt the Mercy's going to be doing much else.
Yeah, this is really individual plays here. So, I mean, if the Ana's good enough to just get some frags on her own, yeah. See what I mean?
Or the culture. I mean, a caster curse, a caster blessing, whatever you want to call it. They're able to Cannonball, takes out Carrot as well, and Regen, they're falling just as quickly, if not faster, than Bro Love did. Just one round to go. Klein able to find that kind of answer, takes out Hypothesis, and all of a sudden is kind of a will they, won't they situation. Bro Love might be able to cap. They come to the second tick. They're really taking their good old time to do it, Rebel. I think they just need 3 on there. They could have capped already.
They probably could have, but I mean, hey, being able just to control half their team from in that room is going to be huge as well. Now here comes the contest, but at the same time, what did it cost? It costed them almost their entire health pool there. They really weren't able to heal much more because it was just the Junker Queen and the Lucio in there. Only so much you can do with Lucio AoE heals, especially if you don't have AMP online.
Ace coming in quick here. A bit of an uncomfortable fight for Kurama, who's all of a sudden losing in a 2v1. Has to get out of there. Oh my goodness, Ace, what a clip! Tricky Turtle there to seal the deal. Just dumps that full clip into Aspect, takes them offline, and all of a sudden, Bro Love, they're looking to wrap things up short and sweet here, Rebel. They want to win Hollywood quickly as they possibly can. And honestly, I'd love if they could, because during the break, I'm going to tackle these tech issues. So we're going to have a really good time during the break. The quicker this map ends, the better it gets, I think, for everybody. But right now, Regen, they are not going to go down without a fight. They're looking to go out with a bang instead of a whip.
No, but they do also switch to the BAP Zen comp as well with the Sigma, so I like this a lot. They're like, okay, yes, Junker Queen's not going to work here. It's not going to work. We're going to go onto the Sigma on the defense. It makes sense. You want to be able to hold on for a little bit longer. Also, having that Tracer in there with the Zenyatta is going to be huge as well to just have that more damage that I mentioned earlier, that you can't really do much on Tracer unless you're coded like proper or somebody like that, or you have the Zenyatta Discord.
Yeah. Absolutely. You gotta be goated. You gotta have a little bit of help. There's nothing in between. You need at least one of those two things to succeed. And right now, with Brolove to have 4 minutes on the clock, I would love to say, oh, this is a shoe and this is a guarantee. But this is exactly what Regen looked like. Almost identical. And they got full held right here. So there's a very real possibility that Regen can come through and have some great successes just like that. Aspect barely winning out that fight against Cannonball. And it looks like now is before the culture goes down. I mean, we're looking at a 4-to-1 trade. I think anybody...
I would take that any day of the week, but granted, ults are going to be online here. Brolove, I mean, they're going to have quite a bit to work with as well. They're going to have the Valkyrie, they're going to have the Barrage. The Pulse Bomb's almost up, so I can get a good kill on the Zenyatta or the BAP if it works. And I mean, they're also going to have the Rampage from Junker Queen, so what they want to do here, they can just save up all their ults, you know, hey, Q, and then it works. We've seen it before, it's not uncommon to see.
Oh,
but
what a shot! Oh my goodness, had the knife, pulled the Asher off the high ground, looks for it a second time. I love the attempt there, just constantly trying to get in the way. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Rampage out here just like that. What a phenomenal opener from Regen there, or onto Regen, excuse me, from Brolove. Tricky Turtle comes in quick and unfortunately gonna be on the wrong end of that fight. Cannonball trying to find some value. Klein though, just a maniac on the high ground.
Yeah, no, that's, I mean, that was, what, a 2 for 3 shot there? Actually, I think it's going more in the favor of
No way!
No, there's no way we missed this. It's literally just Ace.
No, Ace!
And Brolove taps it!
Victory.
Oh, that's unreal! That's unreal! Oh my god, we were so focused on the Junker Queen, we did not even realize the map being ripped out from underneath us. Oh, this is Klein getting played the game while his team loses the map. Because, oh my goodness, let's look. If it's the play I'm thinking it is. So Klein tearing it up on the high ground. Things looking great for the team. And it's not going to make it in this clip. But immediately after this, I saw the card start moving. And I was hoping, you know, oh, somebody will be there. Somebody will be there.
Right, yeah.
Somebody will be there.
Clearly not. So.
Nobody's going to be there. No one's going to be there. But folks, we're not going to be here for a couple of minutes because we're going to throw it to an immediate break. I'm going to reset my entire computer. We're going to try to get this figured out. We're going to give the players time to use the restroom, get water, hug their families. I don't know, whatever they want to do. But meet us right back here for some more Summer Series action in just a couple of minutes. going on, all you tanks, healers, and damage dealers, and welcome back. Hopefully I'm a little more present. Hopefully I'm a little more here now. Hopefully all these tech issues have been figured out, and hopefully Regen and Brolove are ready to jump right into the game. Now, Rebel, we got the confirmation on what the upcoming map is going to be, and my background does give it away a little bit, but we've got to say, at the very least, we were both pretty surprised.
It's Junkertown, so I'm like, because we were talking about it at the beginning, like when we were getting set up and everything, and I'm like, it'd be cool if we saw Junker Queen play at Junkertown, so that way, you know, it'd be
the home field advantage.
The home field advantage, yeah. But then we're like, nobody wants to play Junkertown. Who wants to play Junkertown? There's so many escort maps you can go through. You can play Gibraltar, you could play Monte Carlo, you could play Dorado, Rialto, whatever the heck you wanted to play. Havana, if you're weird like that, but no, we chose Junkertown, so I think it's gonna be interesting. I don't really know what compositionally people are gonna want to play in this either. I hope I see Junker Queen. It would make sense. I mean, she's just been a strong tank.
I was kind of wondering that as well.
Because you don't really.
Does she have the long range? That's what I'm wondering. Can she succeed? Because Junkertown First is the longest direct open site, I believe, in the entire game. Or
exactly.
At least that stands true for the first game. I haven't really studied the length of the new maps
yeah.
yet. But the point is, it's a very long field of vision and line of sight. And I wonder, can Junkertown find great successes off of what feels like a close quarters composition, a close quarters play style? So maybe you do somebody else for first point, and then if you break into second, that's when you bring out the Junker Queen. That's when you're like, hey, this should work pretty well for us. The hero I think we could see, and I put could kind of in like an asterisk because I'm definitely not positive, but picking Orisa here, I don't think would be a throw pick. I'm just being honest. I think it could work.
I mean, sure. Yeah, with the javelin and the long range, I guess. Honestly, I could see it. I could see it. I'm not too sure we're going to see much Orisa right now in the higher levels of play. I think it's pretty much going to be exclusively Junker Queen, Sigma, and Reinhardt. Or maybe some Wrecking Ball if people are weird like that. But
we did see some Wrecking Ball earlier for 15 whole seconds.
Oh, yeah, sure. No.
No!
Look!
There it is! Oh, no! No! Oh, my God, I was so excited! Oh, man. Oh. Unfortunate.
Oh, my God.
Unfortunate. I just got debated by somebody who can't even hear me. That is just the universe just.
Do you want a bandage for that? Do you want a bandage for that?
That makes everything so much better.
But tank lines aside, we've got Amaterasu locked in on the Sombra right now, and I love Sombra. I think she's a phenomenal pick. Even with her changes in the beta, I think she really is a very strong hero and one we're going to be seeing even more of in Overwatch 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, dude.
Nah, they're baiting.
They're baiting. They can't even hear me, and they're baiting. No, my guess is Amaterasu is going to give us a bit of what I always call a King's Row Widow. Look for one kill like out the gate, and then maybe swap.
I think it's just going to stay Widow because, I mean, it's Junkertown. You have these long side lanes, you got to play it. But I do like Kurama going on the Hanzo here, though, as well, having the double sniper instead of having more of a flank hero like a Tracer or a Genji, like what Ace is doing. It makes sense if you were going to... Honestly, I would think it would be a little bit backwards. You'd almost want to expect a Tracer on offense and a Hanzo on defense for, once again, more double sniper advantage so you can stay further back. But, I mean, fourth culture is just going to get the first pick.
First pick coming through, obviously the most important. We're going to see a little bit of action coming out from Ace. Like a little bit of damage here and there, but it's a tricky turtle on the not Orisa that finds that first healing. Drake goes down quickly. And the Baptiste falling is going to be huge. That's going to be the real opening I think a team needs. It's traded out for Ace, but losing the BAP, notably more important than losing a DPS. I mean, Immortality Field gone, that left shift heal is gone. A lot of things are taken off the table where Tracer disappears. You're like, ah, shucks, we're missing 30 damage. Like, it's not the same level of panic from a team when they lose a DPS like this. We've got half the time bank just about down and out already. A very slow play style from Brolove, from Regen, and I don't think that's necessarily intentional. I think it's mandatory more than anything. Karen takes out for the culture. Tricky Turtle finds one. Immortality Field gone, and that's not going to let Depsy live any longer. So, really good look from Brolove here on the defense.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the only really major thing I'd look for in the next fight is just going to be the ultimates. I mean, you got 3 coming up from Brolove. You really only have like 2 from Regen. I mean, the Transcendence will be up in about 2 seconds anyways. But that is something I do like a little bit better about And yes, granted, I like the chaotic energy of having just ults in like 30 seconds in Overwatch 1. But that's something I like to mention, is that ults, obviously, it takes longer to charge. So it really takes higher skills to be able to just get them faster the way they are. So they used to be. But it also makes it more about the individual skill of the game instead of just clicking Q and then winning the fight.
Yeah. When the culture gets taken down, Depsy not far behind, and all of a sudden the entire support line from Brolov is gone. That's got to be kicking the door clean off its hinges, and busting in is Regen EU. They found 4 eliminations out of the 5 available. They're going to be pushing through and possibly into that first point cap. 90 seconds on the clock. They've got more than enough time to get there. Just go recontest.
No one can hide.
Yeah.
As, oh my god, Tricky Turtle walks out double headshot. That's going to be very unfortunate. But hey, a stall is a stall regardless of how successful. And hey, 10, 20 extra seconds off the clock. That could be a game changer at the end of the day.
I 100% agreed. But I mean, 3 minutes and 42 seconds is going to be still a decent enough time to get it past this point. However, though, if you don't get it,
good, yeah.
If you don't get this point within 2 fights, I would say you might be in a lot of trouble. They don't really have too much else to work with. They're getting close-ish. I mean, Depsy will have their flux a little bit closer than the others, but I mean, Tricky Turtle and Fourth Culture have both ultimate line. That's going to be huge, and Brolov can use that for the defense here. But if you're Regen, you really got to look for an opening kill.
Oh, you almost found. No, you did found one. Mr. Dragon Low going to be taken down by Karen there with the headshot, and it looks like things are not quite going to be as successful as they want. Amaterasu in that newly found Widowmaker spot. I saw this on TikTok a while ago. Yeah, it's a very interesting one. It's you know, you've got to wonder, is it similar to the illegal May maneuvers we've seen before? Is that on a technicality, or is that a legal play? If the hero can stand there, I say more power to you.
I 100% agree. Unless, of course, Blizzard patches it out and says, hey, you can't do this.
Yeah.
But, yeah, obviously.
Oh!
1
HP! Oh my goodness! Helmer Drake has turned on the gas here. I mean, just decided enough is enough. Finds a double kill out the gate, looking for a triple with Karama with an amazing headshot there. A Storm Arrow head tap to take on that Widow. Things looking good for Regen EU. They are storming through, and honestly, Rebel, as we enter this 3rd point, I'd like to see her make her home field or debut. I want to see some Junkertown.
I want to see it happen, but
this is where her cinematic took place.
Exactly. But like, however, both Sigmas are working out pretty well in these comps. Both are going to stick to the fat stance. So if they switch to a Lucio Moira or a Lucio Break, then I can see the Junker Queen coming out. But right now, they're sticking more with the poke comp. Yeah, this is more of a poke comp now. But I mean, Amaterasu, Amaterasu, I think that's how you pronounce it. Switching over to Sojourn, I like this a lot because I mentioned it earlier. Sojourn's really good against the Sigma. Well, it's not like she can just completely counter Sigma. It's that she gets a lot of railgun charge off that. And having that railgun at your disposal, especially if you're really good with it, or if you're really good aim, can get you quite a bit of value here. And I mean, that's going to be a transcendence coming out from Fourth Culture as well.
Yeah, and when Junkertown was first kind of debuted into the world of Overwatch, a lot of people tried to make Widowmaker work here, right? Because these are surprisingly small angles for opening the map look. It's almost like Sojourn can find the value we wanted Widowmaker to have in those ultimates. She's got that style of sniper, but she's not relying on it. Like, she can really make it work. She's got that great slide, a lot of great mobility as well. I think it absolutely can work out well for Regen EU. Now, of course, as I'm saying that, they're being ripped limb from limb by Brolov, but they've definitely made some great space here, much more successful than we saw in Hollywood. They've really got an established dominant, and they've got 2:20 left on the clock. We've got 140 seconds left for them to make some magic.
Exactly. And I mean, something you mentioned earlier about the Widows being played. I mean, yeah, it's like a weird situation because, like, Widow can be played on this map, but at the same time she can't. I mean, like in 2018 when Pine did the 20 against the London Spitfire, that's an example. But obviously, we're not in 2018 anymore. It's 2022. There's a big difference. But yes, the Sojourn has been looking out to be pretty well, especially having a lot more to be able to slide and jump onto some of these higher angles. That just gives you that more mobility. Like example here, he gets another kill. Granted, they get taken out right away by Hypothesis, but it's still a kill.
Actuating the barrier.
Hypothesis, yeah, really putting the work there. Because I think if that Sojourn went unchecked, you could have just wiped the whole team. We didn't have success there, but instead, it's taken down early by Hypothesis. We've got 80 seconds left, so we're definitely running out of time. But like I said, to get to Junkertown 3rd, surprisingly difficult. I feel we more often than not see teams stalled at first point, and then if not, very often they kind of that 1.5 between first and second. They've made it all the way through second. They are more than halfway to third, but so far it's been BroLove on a very impressive defense. Region, they've got a numbers advantage for at least a moment here, and as Colosseo trying to find the elimination. And they force, even off the high ground, can make a huge difference. Apotheosis goes down to the goal, goes down to support, missing BroLove has got to tuck their tails and go home, pack your bags, get back to spawn. It is Regen's time to shine.
Oh my god, that was a really well done fight there. Amaterasu getting both of the supports right there at the beginning. I mean, I think he only got the bat, but then they followed it up, got the Zenyatta, and boom! They're able to push up a little bit longer. 30 seconds left here. BroLove are gonna have some ultimates to work with here, and they're gonna have 2 very good ultimates to work to holding a point here. But granted, so is Regen. They're almost close. They almost have the flex. They almost have. And that's a first kill already on an ace. And I mean, granted, that's the one character that can die first.
You're right.
But yeah, that's the Transcendence. Keeps him alive for a little bit longer, but Dempsey still gets a kill.
That's finally done. It looks like Over just could not get there fast enough. Mr. Dragon low loudly goes down as well. Bravo finds one Terragon, another ace. Puts down Dempsey and things just blink and you miss it kind of moment. It looks like Regen has finally come back to life, even in the overtime to cap that third point. Can truly go the extra mile, and it looks like they are going to be able to do just that. And 0-0 on the clock. Regen EU, they're capping the third and final point of Junkertown. Rebel, this is the wildest thing. Normally, around this point, I would say a win condition has been set.
Right.
That is very not true. Because BroLove just has to do the same thing, and then all of a sudden we're in overtime. All of a sudden everything is pushed off the table and we start from square one.
Exactly. And I mean, if these guys are going to play Miracons, I think BroLove should switch over to the Sojourn again. I think it'll work very well. The Tracer, granted, Ace has been pretty good on Tracer. I will accept that. Yeah, Ace's Tracer, pretty good. However, if you really want to just get a little bit more value, I think the Sojourn's just going to be that little bit better here, especially if you want to deal up against a Sigma. You can just get your charge on right away. Or go Genji, either one works. I don't know.
You know what? Yeah, or go Genji. Yeah, that's cool. We thought that we shouldn't say it, right? We were both like, totally. Also Genji, yeah, definitely. Now I am surprised a little bit to see the Genji. There is still a possibility of swapping as they are in spawn, but I think it can work. Genji's worked on this map a million times over. I wouldn't be surprised to see him work one more, but with the play style we've been seeing from BroLove, I think Tracer makes a lot more sense. Ace living in the back line, even when Ace wasn't getting a lot of value in terms of kills, they were pulling a lot of focus. And Ace might not be able to do that same thing on the Genji.
No. All really depends here, though. But yeah, he is going to stand. Looks like for now he's going to stand the Genji, and I like this. I mean, it works. Genji's good, especially for denying some of the far range damage at the beginning, because we know that both teams are probably going to start off with a Widowmaker, and that Kurama was going to play Hawk. I mean, he played it for a good portion of the map. So it really depends on his first kill here, obviously. But yeah, that's a lot of damage. Granted, Ace stays alive there. It has the orb on them as well to be able to just hold off a little bit longer, though. But
oh, wow.
That's the first pick.
Good shot from Dragon there. I'm getting flashbacks back to Hollywood, but this time the script has kind of been flipped on its head a little bit. It's Regen that's playing that kind of backpedal play style. They gave up the high ground, the first high ground, immediately for free. Ace poked up, and they were like, all right, let's get out of here. And now as they're moving back again, they've separated. They've made themselves very easy targets to pick off. Helmer, Drake, and Carrot are gone. Regen has to give up this fight. They have to give up an insane amount of free space to BroLove.
Exactly, and I mean, a little bit more space, yeah, that's fine. But like, now they have a lot. They have a lot of work with, and they only have 3 minutes to be able to push this here. If you're Regen, you gotta do something here to be able to contest it, because I mean, they're very close to capping this point. I mean, yeah, Kurama's gonna be the back line onto this Widowmaker, trying to deal as much damage as possible, but he just keeps staying alive for a little bit longer, but finally is gonna be taken out. But yeah, now Regen looking a little bit more dominant here. Tricky Turtle is gonna get the kill on the Dempsey, gets the kill on the Helmer Drake, and this might still be winnable for BroLove.
I would be shocked if it wasn't, to be honest with you. Regen, they have just really been filing in one by one. They got eliminated right and early. Carrot already taken offline. Kurama, though, I've got to say, second time today, we've seen a Tracer completely make me eat my words live on broadcast. Just coming in quickly, Amaterasu finds the headshot of the Mr. Dragon in a fight that I really felt like should have been won by BroLove, is instead ripped out from under them by Regen.
Yeah, exactly. And there's... trying to think. If you're Regen, what do you do to be able to cap this point? Granted, you have the pulse bomb, so you can send that onto either the Zenyatta or the Helmet Drake, but that's the pulse bomb sent out, and nothing is found. No.
I want to see kind of an immediate value come out from the Tracer. Kind of always preference I have is like if you're playing her, I want to see those first kills, immediate healing, snap onto the Zenyatta. Instead, no healings coming out yet. We're down to 90 seconds now. Rebel, it's funny, a minute ago I made the comment, like, we see a lot of teams get stalled on first point. I did not expect to be seeing that from Grolov, but they have given us a masterclass example so far of what it's like to be caught in that first point. Karen takes out 8. That's just completely taken off the table. Bravo, 1-1 DPS right. Karen goes down. Regen eager to numbers quickly. And Grolov, they've got to try to find these kills. They've only got 70 seconds remaining.
Exactly, and I mean, it's just, yeah. Now they finally got it. I don't think there's really going to be any contention from here. They stalled it off long enough. Good for you, Regen. Maybe you can have Kurama try an attempt to stall, but no, yeah. 3 people on cart. It was right there. But now this is where Amaterasu switches to the Sojourn, and I like this a lot. I mean, you don't need the Widow anymore. You can just go on to the Sojourn and just wreak havoc, get that railgun charge pretty quickly, and you're gonna be fine.
All right, gonna have that aim for sight coming through quickly. There's gonna be no secrets on the side of Regen, no flanks, no opportunities. Got to play a little bit slower, and I like kind of the timing of Mr. Dragon there because you knew where they were coming from, but now they have to stay there a little bit longer because if they peek, they're gonna have their head taken clean off their shoulders, and it looks like Mr. Dragon gonna just be on for that damage down with that middle sight. Oh my goodness! What a collapse of damage from Regen. Unfortunately, does not find the kill. Really clutches out this in the morning. Up onto the high ground. It looks like Dempsey trying to move this quick, but as far as I'm aware, it does not really have the numbers advantage. It actually, as one by one Grolov steps off the high ground, the numbers advantage will be handed to Regen, but it looks like it's not really going to matter. As Helmer Drake has gone Kurama. What a shot! Contenders there is going to be before the culture eliminated early. If they can find Mr. Dragon, it's going to be a 1-by-1 situation. Once again, like dominoes, it looks like Grolov is going to fall. Oh!
Exactly. I mean, that's rabbinic click, but he gets stunned out of it. Oh, that is quite unfortunate. If you're Dempsey. Actually, no, that was Tricky Turtle. That was Tricky Turtle.
Grolov there, making up for lost time.
Nonetheless, Dempsey also falls. So,
Dempsey do be fall. That is true. Dempsey do be going out a little bit earlier than expected. And with 2 minutes left on the clock, Grolov has definitely made up for the lost time. They started a lot, 3.5 minutes on that first round. But going back to what you said, Rebel, in the previous round, you know, if you lose this fight 2 times, 3 times, that's where we start sweating a little bit because that's going to burn a lot of time.
Exactly. Exactly. Dragon Ball, getting a kill on a Helmer Drake. Pretty good. I mean, yeah, Grolov, the more kills they get, the better, and that's going to be huge. That's 2 down. Regen only has a couple people left remaining, and I mean, this is now Grolov's chance to really just sort of go ham here, just get the point tapped as much as possible. Because like I said before, you really have to take this point within 2 fights, unless, of course, you have an ungodly amount of time on the clock.
Now I'm convinced. That Tracer was still alive. I was just biting my tongue waiting for her to do something crazy, but no, she did go down that time. We've got 2:30 left on the clock, and as Grolov just immediately takes the supports offline, that guarantees them, I'd say, at least up and next to the Mega, if not maybe around that first corner.
I agree. But yeah, no, now they have some chance here. That's the pulse bomb sent out. Not really going to be able to find anything here. Amaterasu is going to have the overclock online, so whatever they choose to decide to do with this is going to be used, because that could be the deciding factor on how these next 2 fights go, depending on when they want to use it and how they use it.
This ends now.
Not particularly fond of that, and I think they're not going to be either if they can take it out once again. It's great to be 2 versus 1.5. That's the mortality goes going down. Both teams taken offline. Finds Amaterasu. That overcharge, their overclock is not going to get as much as they have wanted. Now they found their one, they got him a but as Kurama comes through and cleans up the rest of Grolov, they're definitely going to wish maybe they had a little bit more. Mr. Dragon back onto the Hanzo, Amaterasu now onto the Widowmaker. I don't know, I don't like the Widow here. We talked about that last point as well, or last round, excuse me. I just think there's, okay, never mind, we're back on the Sojourn. That's what I want to see.
I think they were just trying to go for an early kill there at the beginning, just to try and do something here, but I mean, now Grolov only have 1:16 to try and cap here. We could very well be seeing double overtime where both teams just get reset to 1 minute, and that's how much they have to push here. But A little bit of flank here coming up for the Sojourn. No, not really gonna find anything from that. However, the Bro Love is gonna have like 4 ultimates to push with, so depending on how much further they can go, they can just kind of get all the kills and then just have way more time to work with.
Okay, it's gonna be all about that first game, I think. It's gonna be really kind of moving catalyst the team needs. Dragon that goes down quick. That's the green light for Ace to pull the play. He's gonna attempt to tie things up 4-4. Oh my goodness, taking a buttload of damage though. Ace is gonna go down just as quickly. Finds a 1-1 trade. Humber Drake is gonna be taken out by For the Culture, and we are just in this constant power struggle between these teams. Nobody can win a fight clean. It is always a 1-to-1 matchup. We're talking about a game of series being close, and every single one of these fights has perfectly dictated what we can expect to see.
I 100% agree. And I mean, now there's going to be 17 seconds left on the clock here. Brolov have to do something to keep it alive, but that's going to be both DPS going out. So now it's a trade. It's a 4v4 battle, and it all depends on this ultimate here from Dempsey. Can it find the value that it needs to? And so far, not really, because Tricky Turtle just takes a Helmer Drake.
Turtle takes out Helmer Drake, and as we enter the overtime, I'm getting deja vu of what we saw. 1 round to go. I mean, Rebel, I think you possibly hit the nail right in the head. We might go into a game total reset. Ace and Dempsey going to get traded out. It's going to be a 4-4 situation. Helmer Drake down in the Lucio, has to get out there quickly. Oh, and he gets taken out just as quickly, completely deleted from existence. Tricky Turtle finds the Elam on the Amaterasu, and it's there. A third Elam comes through. This Sigma making the difference. The playmaker the team needs. We are tied up 3-3 going into extra rounds of Junkertown.
Exactly. And yeah, this could be huge. And Amaterasu was able to stay alive for maybe about 4 more seconds, which is very hard to do in overtime when you're the only person on point. They would have had their overclock available, and I would have loved to see them just absolutely come out with like the most clutch thing ever in Contenders. But that was not going to happen. So now both teams have 1 minute to push, with Regen pushing first. I'm interested to see what they want to do here. If they just stick with the same Sigma comp, or if they want to try something a little bit more cheeky here.
That's always my favorite thing to kind of hound on as a caster. And like, it's not a huge thing at the end of the day, but it's always interesting because it's like playing chess. You don't want to go too many steps ahead, or you can fumble the original plan. It's like, do these teams want to bring out the same comp that they're comfortable with? Or do they want to bring out a new play, a new composition that the enemy team might not be expecting? But then you're not as warmed up on those heroes. Your team comp might not be as strong on those heroes. There's so many variables these teams have to consider right now. And it looks like nobody wants to be the one to take the risk. It looks like we're going to see 2 teams bringing out almost identical team comps to what we saw last round.
Yeah, I agree. So, yeah, it's... I don't know. Ace is just going to stick on the Genji. I think that's fine. I think that'll work out pretty well in their favor if they want to defend here, because I mean, if they can get that Genji Blade build up real quick, which I mean we've seen them do this match, it'll be very good for overtime as well, because basically it's just Regen trying to push as far as possible until overtime happens, and if they keep pushing, that's great, but if they lose one fight, it's over, and then Brolo has a chance to just push that a little bit further.
And that little bit absolutely goes a long way. That's something I say very often as a caster. It's those small plays, those micro errors. I talked about a 10-second difference, right? Way back in the first round of Junkertown, those 10 seconds, dude, the fact that that 10-second stall came through is what forced the card into overtime for Regen EU. That's what made it possible for Brolo to tie things up 0-0. When the Culture comes in quick, takes that Tracer offline, looking for a second kill. Not quite able to find it, though. It's going to be that 5-4 advantage. What can Regen kind of do now that they've lost a player? Immortality Field comes out far too early for my liking, but you got to do what you got to do to keep that team alive. The Hanzo's taking a buttload of damage, but he's going to be able to make it out just by the skin of his teeth there. All of a sudden, it really feels like we're back in that situation. Brolov large and in charge right now, just keeping Regen locked away toward the target. Now, before the Culture goes down, that is an immediate open downer on that flank there. Karen finds Ace, and it looks like Regen is coming through quick here. That's 2. 2 going to turn into 3, and Brolov there being taken out here, just ripped limb from a limb by Regen EU, and that's got to be enough to keep that cart moving. A complete and total team kill. Regen, they might be able to get this first point cap, and that, Rebel, will be our first win condition.
That is exactly the first win condition here. I mean, Brolov is pretty far behind when it comes to ult charge as well. Before the Culture just already gets the first kill already, and that's going to be the second one.
I am a For the Culture fanboy right now. Let me tell you what, my goodness, this is some S-tier Zen gameplay.
He's been nutty with it.
I am baffled to say the very least. Bamboozled, baffled, flabbergasted. Your word of choice. I am amazed by this consistency, this damage-dealing Zenyatta, a bloodthirsty support if I have ever seen one. Dempsey gonna find Ace early on, and is that gonna be enough to really force Bullet back into another fight? Because it's really dangerous to be on the defense. Every hero you lose is another 10-15 meters. The enemies are gonna be able to take it as Kurama rips apart Brolove. These dragons just separating the entirety of second point Junkertown. That is gonna be Regen keeping this card rolling. Rebel, I mean, at this pace, we've got a map 4 locked and loaded.
I think so too. I mean, unless because Brolove does something just awesome.
We need a miracle.
I mean, they have trans. If they can contest this point right now, which I don't think that. Well, I mean, they might be able to. They might have somebody be able to touch her, but Ace has just been kind of being held back and is already gonna get taken out by Kurama. Oh my goodness. But yeah, now we're already on to point 3 here. If
Ace has a blade, but if I was Ace, I'd be terrified to pull it, because every time he's shown his face, it's been deleted from existence. It has really been difficult for this Genji to find any high-quality value. Transcendence been forced out. Apotheosis is going to have to pop that damage as well. It's about keeping the team alive and dealing as much damage as humanly possible. Brolove there, putting every ultimate they have out, and Amaterasu takes their committed flex down early. Regen EU, they are doing a phenomenal job keeping this team in their blade. Ace going to be able to find that over. Pulls the blade at 75 HP, down to 20, but he is making magic happen. The triple kill comes through. Dempsey gonna be able to find it with that accretion. Dempsey finds a second one, and just when Brolove was able to turn things around, the waffle iron flipped right back over in favor of Regen EU. Apotheosis takes out narrative all of the sudden. I mean, it is just neck and neck, tooth and nail, with somehow Regen EU, they're getting ready to come out on top once again.
And that's ridiculous. Also, Karad is going to be switching to Karen is going to be switching. I thought I saw him go over to the Moira, but no, they're just going to go back out on Zenyatta. Lucio Zen here. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, this overtime just keeps lasting so long, and I thought Ace was going to have his EQO clutch moment with the Genji there. It was just him versus the world. He gets 4 with it, but it just didn't matter in the end. And so now, Regen is still just, they're angry. They're like, we don't want to lose this. We do not.
Oh no! The dragons!
It was canceled.
Oh my, I saw the animation and then Tricky Turtle. That could be the opening they need for the culture, though. Taking down Discord off the table, a lot of healing off the table. Karen also gone. Dempsey taking out Ace. Gonna be taken out by the Ace Grecian here. Dempsey able to find that healing coming through quickly, and it's gonna be a complete back and forth brawl. Amaterasu finds Mr. Dragon, and it could be anybody's game. The next Elam should be the deciding one, but I think Brolove finally has the numbers they need to make the magic happen.
I think so too here, but yeah, no,
there it is.
Oh, there's a lot to unpack from that.
Okay, so I don't doubt Brolove's abilities as a team, as players, right?
No.
But for any team to get the cart that far with only a minute on the clock is tough.
It is tough. That was a really heckin' good performance by Regen there. And I mean, Brolove has to come out with something that can rival that. I mean, granted, we've seen them be that little bit better throughout the game, but it was just there's something about that OT magic when you're down 2-0 and you just like, okay, we need to pull out something here. This is our last chance to survive. It's that the adrenaline's kicking. It's the survival instinct. We do not want to be kicked out of Contenders. This is our only chance to stay alive. And here we are. Now they got it really far, but now Brolove has the chance to also do the exact same thing. So
I mean, this is the clutch or kick factor. It really absolutely is. This team, they know they win this or they go home. This is a single elim round of 32. Rebel, let's paint a picture really quickly. Regen needs to win this map. They then need to go on to win 2 more. They need to completely reverse sweep Brolove to keep this team alive, and that starts right here, right now. Kurama immediately takes for the culture down. I mean, I don't think we can have a better start. Takes the Zen off the table, and that Zen has been the playmaker very often. Found the first Elim onto the Hanzo or the Tracer or the Widow, but as you take that Zen offline, it becomes that much harder for this team to succeed. It's insane. We're already almost half done with this time bank. Regen, unless they give us the mistake of a lifetime, they should have this in the bag.
Oh, I 100% agree here. But like, I don't know. Still, like, you get Brolove, like, yeah, the first kill might have mattered with the Zenyatta. It's great to have out of the way. And he gets it. Well, actually, nope. Wrong team. However, no, Cat is taken out, though. So that's another support gone.
Wrong Widow success there.
if Regen really want to stay in this, they have to make sure that their entire team is staying alive. But right now, it's not looking like it. Yeah, we're seeing these trades on and off. Your Tricky Turtle taking Amaranth Dempsey getting the kill on fourth culture, but it's not mattering because right now Brolov is getting these advantages. They're able to stay alive. Overtime is now in effect. And I mean, yeah, we saw overtime in effect earlier last time. But look how far they got it then.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I'm thinking, right? As long as you don't C9, that's the scariest thing right now, is C9ing. They need to keep an eye on the carts. They need to make sure somebody's on it at all times, 3 on it at all times, preferably. Because this is the difference right here. Regen, when they won this fight, the cart was close enough. It was a guaranteed first point cap. Now, Brolov, they are meters away, but that close is not going to be close enough. They have not capped that first point. They've already lost 8, and now they've lost Mr. Dragon. This has got to be all but over. The nail being slammed into the coffin. Amatrossi goes down for the culture, trying to be the playmaker once again, but this pressure just stacking up against the immortality fields are gone. All damage is now permanent.
Talk about Zenyatta's becoming a playmaker. Carrot. Oh, it's looking really good there. And man, Region EU, what a comeback on that map. That overtime push was insane. Bringing us to a map 4. I couldn't ask for better. I'm like, yeah, maybe a 3-0 would be cool, but at the same time, I want to see these close matches. They're fighting to be the best of the best in the tier 2 scene. And this is a great way for it to happen. Unfortunate for Ace that he almost got that really awesome Dragon Blade there. But I mean, Regen just, they wanted the win. They wanted the win, and they got it. So, good for them. Maybe they complete the reverse sweep. I would hope so. But I don't know.
This is my, I believe, 3rd Contenders preliminary event that I have worked. This would be the first time I've had a series go to map 5, if it has.
Yeah.
Now, I'm definitely pitching kind of a fairy tale here, right? We've got to make it through whatever the next map is first. And I don't know if it's push coming up next. I don't know if it's mandatory what map style comes up next. Is this legit? Is they picked this? So if you guys don't know, production has control of my background, so I really am trusting them implicitly with whatever they decide to put up behind me. But it is Colosseo. I mean, this is, I've never cast this map before. It's gonna be push, and I'm excited because I think push is
it's interesting.
I think it's arguably the most interesting because I think they took some of the best things from different maps and put them together. You get the spontaneity of control points, right? You get these weird different team compositions. You get the team style coordination that you need on an escort. Somebody always has to be near or on. I mean, let's be honest, the bot, he's essentially a payload, right? To a certain extent.
Exactly.
And it's so fascinating to see the unique play styles and choices that these teams have to make in order to succeed. And this whole map type, this whole play style as a whole is still too new to the point there's no bread and butter to this. Everything we do right now is a risk on this map.
Exactly. So if Regen wants to come through and just absolutely dominate, they could, because whoever really gets that first point, and we've seen this, whoever is the more dominant team just wins. You can't have something like that where Brolov was pretty dominant for most of Junkertown, but hey, Region EU came out of there with that overtime push and just absolutely obliterated it. But for this map, we're going with the mirror comps. We're going back to the Lucio Brig Junker Queen with the Sojourn and the Genji. However, though, I do like that Brolov wants to come off the bat with the Symmetra. Having that TP available is going to be really nice to get to the bot first. Get to the bot first. You can have that first point that you sort of see in control.
Nope.
No, they're just going to send the Genji. All right, then.
Stick with the Lucio speed boost. Now, Rebel, I do want to point out before we kind of get too deep into the bloodbath here, this is the first time we've seen a complete total mirror matchup. There is not an individual pick on either side. We've got the same 5 agents rocking out for both teams. And of course, that comes down to the individual performance. Who's going to be the better Genji? You know, Karama or Ace? Who's the better Junker Queen? And it's really going to come down to which of these players can take the helm. Now, that's been very awful. I did that. This time, it's going to be Sar, who has been subbed back in. We haven't seen them see that control map a while ago, but they come in immediately. They take Karama off the table, and that gives Brolov that 1-player advantage. Now, 1-player advantage, not as huge as you'd expect, especially with the DPS that falls in a situation like push. They need to find one more to really steal the field, make the team a lot more comfortable. It looks like they are darn chewing. That aspect goes down pretty aggressively, but does not go down low enough. Instead, it's Cannonball, who gets collapsed on for the culture, not far behind. A whip shot dismisses them. Sar now down as well. Regen EU. They win that fight back in the blink of an eye.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's going to be pretty good. I mean, Region EU is looking pretty good here. And I think this was Brolov's map pick as well since they lost the map.
Yes.
Yes, it was. But yeah, no, they get that first fight right off the bat. Good for them. Now they just got to keep up this dominance throughout the pretty much throughout the rest of the map. Otherwise, bad things will happen. But they're looking a little bit better here. And once again, I mentioned this earlier, but I do really like this comp with the Lucio Brig with the Junker Queen. I think it works out really well, just being able to pile on all of that AoE healing instead of not having just general burst healing. You can just sort of have a little bit more overall sustain, and I think it's really cool. Opposites getting the first kill on the carrot though, so.
Immediate trade though, but okay, now things are looking a little bit worse for Region. I would say losing the Brig is kind of a loss, but not a complete fight loss for now. Aspect goes down with that overclock online. It looks like this Junker Queen may not be too far behind. Region EU, they are going to go down, and they're going to have to pass this bot right back over to Brolove. Now here's that interesting part. You know, the further apart these points get, the longer it takes for your team to actually get any real value, any real progress off the back of it. And Brolove, they're looking to seal the deal right here, right now, at least tie things up in terms of meter, but Regen, they should get back fast enough to not allow too much of a lead to fall in Brolove.
Right.
This ends
like you mentioned, and I want to expand on that a little bit more. Actually, no, never mind. I'll talk about it after this one. All of the ultimates are going to be used right now. So
every ult under the sun. I mean, that's a spoil to Regen. We saw Brolove both supporters, all four actually being used. Look at the play coming off the base very late. And is it going to be as successful? But no, it is not. Aspect punching Ace into the Shadow Realm. Karama finds an Elan Cannonball, falls as well. And I mean, look how close it is. 23 to 21. Regen, they win that fight, and I wonder, are we going to get a continuous back and forth like this?
I certainly hope so, but I want to mention... and applause. Perfect. This is my chance to talk about what just happened. So, Depsy, what happened is on Junker Queen, that rampage was disgusting. Got 4 of them with the anti, everybody used their ults all at once, and then boom. Region EU was able to take the win. But something you mentioned earlier about having the bot be further away, that is a very key thing. You want to
hey, we're back.
The back and forth. You want to have the back and forth at the beginning, because if you can have that good, then you don't have to push it as far. But right now, with Region having a little bit more of an advantage, they're up 20 meters. The further that bot pushes, the more hard it is for you, for Brolove to be able to, and we have a DC. Okay, there it is. And we're back.
And now, we're back.
Yeah, let's go.
So something really interesting that I want to talk about as well is when Junker Queen kind of was introduced, a lot of people were very afraid of a non-support hero having the anti-heal ability, right? It's something we've never seen before. That was an Ana exclusive up until this point, but I personally really like it. And I know that's going to be a semi-unpopular opinion, but I thought it was interesting because Ana, to me, had the potential to be one of the strongest heroes in the game. To have the sleep dart in a game with notably less crowd control was insane to me. But then to have an anti-heal on top of that, I was thinking she's a 100% pick all the time, right? But if we introduce that anti-heal to other heroes, it makes her a little less unstoppable, a little less invincible.
Exactly, especially with the lack of shields now in the game.
Yes.
Having that anti hits a lot easier. But now that you have somebody else who is a tank, who has that ability as well, you really start to win your options. Okay, we can play some other support. If we're just messing up so hard that we don't have anything to deal with an annoying tracer against the backline, then yeah, go for the Ana. But right now, with the Lucio breaking away the Junker Queen comp works, it's huge.
What a zone from Cannonball there, just completely pinned Regen into the corner upon the elimination of the Depsy right after. Could be a huge opener. I'd be a little surprised to see the overclock here. Yeah, looks like we're going to hold on to it as that team kill does come through. Currently, Regen 3 times in the lead, 61 to 21. And Brolove, they've got a couple of ults to work with, the Rampage and the overclock. I mean, that could be one heck of a combo if you do this correctly.
Exactly. But now, if Brolove wants to do something, yeah. Ooh. Yeah, no, I'm really thinking about what could happen there with the Rampage. It took a second to click in. I'm like, oh. But now, yeah, I think they can totally do something here, and that's going to be the over.
Oh! That's a deflect! That's a deflect! Karama takes down Cannonball. A bit of a chase for own medicine there. That overclock is not going to work out well. Star finds Aspect. Karon taken down by a Star finds Karama. That's the first time we've seen a team win a fight twice in a row, Rebel. That's the first time we've seen a team actually win 2 fights. It was 1-1-1-1, but now Brolove, they've won 2 fights back-to-back. They can really keep this bot moving, at least up and through 45, maybe even toward 50. They can get very close to tying things up here. If they win a 3rd fight, they'll be in phenomenal shape.
Right. And I mean, yeah. They could do it too, because they're gonna have Rally and Soundbeer alive. Yeah, granted, it's not very offensive ult, but it can certainly keep you alive while you try to get some picks there. They give it over just a little bit, yeah, but that's fine. Positioning wise makes sense, whatever. But I mean, it's contested. There's not much you can do there, and that's gonna be the Dragon Blade from Kurama. And then this could be a fine loop for Region.
Yeah, Kurama can find perhaps a little bit more value. Nothing really lighting up the kill feed instead. A lot of damage, no follow up. There it is. Sar first down the roll up, looking rough, especially. Okay, yeah, one by one. I mean, kill feed lighting up like a Christmas tree right now. They're going to be eliminated and removed from the fight quickly. Regen, they're going to have 4 ultimates to use in this upcoming fight. That, I'm not going to say guarantees them the fight. It never does. As we've learned from a lot of ultimates today. Popping your ult does not mean you're going to live long enough to use it. But I think if Regen does use this ult appropriately, they can definitely get ready to kind of call Colosseo a done and done.
Right. And I mean, yeah, there's some big picks coming out here but like here's the thing, Region also has a ton of ults to work with for this next fight as well. They have four flip and ultimates online. And you can do something really huge here just to turn it around, but BroLove also at the same time has a lot too, and they're also gonna have Overclock and the Dragon Blade and both support ults, and then Sarge is really good at it. So you know, you ultimate for that.
Sarge do the now we got the rally, we got the overclock available. I don't think nobody's gonna live long enough to come kill that team. Caught that rampage, and now Regen has used all 4 ultimates they had available, and somehow they're losing the fight. They've lost the break, they've lost the Genji. It looks like they're getting ready to lose quite a few more. That's not the opportunity they wanted. That is not the opening they were looking for. To find great successes instead. They're just completely ripped apart one by one. BroLove finding themselves not quite back on top, but in the position to be very soon.
Yeah, I mean, they have everybody on the payload and on the bot. Sorry, I don't know if I should say payload or not, but I'm still trying to figure out what I want to call the bot yet. But at the same time, they're also going to have the ultimates, and now they've taken the lead. They've taken a point as well. They've gotten the first half point, which makes the spawn a bit closer, which is going to be huge, and that's going to be Ace with the Dragon Blade as well, going into the back line. Not really going to find anything just quite yet. They're trying to put that Lucio. Oh, but Aspect.
Sar finds Aspect. It's going to be a 2-1 trade in favor of Regen EU right now. Gotta say, Regen getting danger close to being on their back legs. I mean, they're already watching Sar closer and closer. Kind of an inevitability is that kind of droplet continues to drift towards them. They've really got to win this fight and do it convincingly. They're taking up options offline. They're BroLove attempting to return to the fight. Regen, they've got the bot in their hands. They've got to get past. They've been in the 60 for what feels like eternity. They've really got to break through one way or another.
Now here comes the overclock as well. Is it going to be able to find anything? It has to find one, right? Just like maybe one. Now it does. And actually, it's going to be looking a little bit better for Regen, as Kurama's going to go in with the Dragon Blade. It's going to find 1 kill off of it, but not too much else. But yeah, now Regen is still a little bit more in the lead here. They have the point advantage. But if BroLove can contest it, because they have the better spawn, and they already have the first point already, if they can just hold it on for a little bit longer, because they honestly might be able to touch it. But yeah, there it is.
It's a draw!
Even. It's a draw. Oh boy. That could happen, but I'm not so sure. I think there'll be a team winning this map here. I don't think we're going to see it.
I think once it's past the second point,
that's a huge ante.
That is a phenomenal rampage coming in. So I think that was going to be at least 3 ante. Cannonball finds 1, for the Colt finds 2 more, and Regen EU. I mean, they need to regen back and spawn, push themselves right back into this fight. Cannonball finds, I think, 3 of the 5 elims there, and that is just great. However, with only 80 seconds left on the clock, it takes this bot, I don't know, 20 seconds to get from one end to the other. We're really running out of time here.
You're right, exactly. I mean, they could totally do it, though. Granted, Carrot is going to have Rallying Line and Hummer Drink along with the Sound Barrier, and Depsy with the Rampage of themselves. So, BroLove really has to do something major this fight or the next fight, because right now it's looking a little bit more favorable towards Regen, and yeah, this is what I mean. So,
this ends now.
Yeah, Regen need it. I mean, they're really an impressive spot. Say that they're really going for it right here, right now. They've got 45 seconds clock. They already had the numbers lead, but they want to guarantee that win. They want to all the way into third point, and Aspect overclocking into Cannonball, Cannonballs, and all of a sudden losing that Sojourn early is going to be damaging to BroLove. They're forced back. They have to recontest as a full team, regroup, excuse me, not recontest.
yeah, I get what you mean.
Regen, they've got 3 ults.
Time for the reckoning.
Here we go at Rampage. Comes in quick. Ace, though. Ace taking down Aspect. A phenomenal opener. Sojourn taken offline. Karen also gone for the Culture, taking out Mike Karama. The beat drops, but I'm not sure if it's enough to keep the team alive. Now I know it wasn't enough to keep the team alive. Karama finds one, looking to find another. Can they take down the Junker Queen fast enough? No, 61 HP to Dream. That lead effect so strong helps Ace find that elim. I think
this could be. Actually, no. Brolov is going to come back from it, but it is overtime though. And look at how far they have to go.
Exactly. I think this could still be kind of written as done over and out. I mean, right now Brolov has to make it to at least 30 more meters without losing a single fight. I'd argue that's like 2 fights, maybe even 3 with how close that lock gets toward the end of the matchup there. And Dempsey on our first Reinhardt. I've been waiting for this. He has been trying to make an appearance in a position. So, 6 HP makes it up on the skin of his absolute teeth.
And that's going to be the
finding Aspect early. Ace going to be able to find Dempsey. Karama again! A second time! Cannonball going to be deflected. That overcharge not working like you want it to. Before the Culture finds one, Ace finds another, and it is a bloodbath. True and true. Brolov, a complete and total team kill. Keep that bot moving.
This match has been absolutely insane here. And I mean, look at how close for the Culture into the rally. They can get this rally off this fight as well. They can stay alive for a little bit longer, keep SAR alive, and then they're going to have Rampage. This is Regent's fight to lose.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, there's no way. I mean, there is a way, absolutely, that Brolov punches this. No, the left shift into oblivion there. Dempsey taking you down and out, giving their life for it. For the Culture, going to be able to win that fight. SAR finds one, Ace finds another. And I mean, Rebel, this was Regen's to lose, but right now it is Brolov's to win. Is there even going to be a legitimate recontest?
I don't think so. You have to have a miracle here. You have to have depth to try and contest. But I do not think it's going to be enough. And I mean, yeah, well done from Brolov. That was some damage control. And I think that's one of the first times I've really seen somebody make a comeback that far on push.
I mean, 60 meters at one point. I was like, oh, that's never going to happen. Ate my words. I mean, right then and there. What a performance from Brolov to turn things around. It was tough. I mean, through and through, they fought tooth and nail until the bitter end, but they come out victorious. About as close as we can get. The 3-1 scoreline never going to show how close this series really was. I mean, it was every single map, every single fight. Impressive, to say the very least. I am amazed really with the level of performance we have seen with Brolov. They are the winners. They move on to the next round. They win here in this round of 32.
I mean, yeah, the Brolov, they were just the better team. They showed up today. Regen, though, I mean, I do want to talk about them for a second. Even though Brolov was the team that was just better throughout the entire game, that Junkertown map from Regen really giving them a little bit more hope. And it was looking like that way towards the end of Colosseo as well, where they just had the point advantage. They had it in the stock. I think just that one play, unfortunately, from Dempsey, just going out the point at the last second, they're trying to get that pin. It's unfortunate it happens, but it was really a close map there. It really could have gone to Regen, but Brolov in the end, they had the better plays. They had it, and I mean, I love seeing Junker Queen being played as much as she did today. I think that comp that she was playing, it really just makes sense on how it works, and I love it.
And I have to say, you know, I think I agree. I really don't like to hone in on a single player, but we did get to see kind of that Reinhardt classic left shifting into a complete and total fight, and I think that really did have kind of a domino effect on the remaining members of Regen. There was no shield, there was no main tank, there was no earth shatter, and that really ended up biting them in the butt. But I mean, Brolov, they wanted it. Clearly, they fought unbelievably hard, very impressive through and through. But Rebel, as sad as it is to say, that brings us to a close, right?
I know, it's unfortunate. It's been a pleasure casting with you. So
you as well, brother. Always. It's been a huge shout out to Solomon and Joey in the back. Respectively. Thank you to both teams for coming out. Thank you to, Contenders Summer Series for having us. This was a blast. This was awesome. Thanks to everybody for watching and for bearing with my tech issues. I'm going to literally go to a computer store right after this and try to figure out what is going on with my computer. But thank you all so much for hanging out. We love each and every one of you. Check your posture, drink some water, don't forget to love each other, and don't forget to watch NA later today. But for the time being, enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you later.